hopefully he'll be able to carry them as just they made too many mistakes that last game as well as not being proactive, and it cost them the game.
Yeah, it is the case. And the thing is, I noticed how I put on Katarina, but Katarina's been banned all these games, and Talia was picked away for Jet for Jazz to get his hands on the Talia. So he would want something that could roam around and bring his lead to the rest of the map because even though he's getting ahead, the rest of the map isn't getting as ahead, and therefore they fall behind. As we saw, the top lane for them was just really far behind from minute one, and that just led to them just hemorrhaging to the point where they ended up losing the entire game. So they need something that can roam and put some pressure on the rest of the map. They need something like the TF. I saw TF and Quinn mentioned in Twitch chat, and apparently he plays them. So even though they're a bit off the meta, they're a bit screwy, they can definitely find a surprising win, especially as we hit the rubber in game 3.
Exactly. You can put him on, the Caston, or like you said, the TF. And if he doesn't like TF, there's even talent. Put him on something that is an assassin that he can at least roam on, even if it's not an assassin, to influence all of his lanes. He did as well as he could on the Lux, but as you mentioned earlier, the weakest link appears to be Brewby. Now, we did see a little bit of it last week in the semifinals, and even in quarterfinals, he did have the highest death percentage in his lane, even when playing Ornn, who is incredibly broken. So it seems like Rumors has found that weak link, and they're just going to keep hammering it until it breaks through the wall and finds them a victory and finds them this finals win.
Yeah, I mean, if they're on red side, they just ban away Ornn, and if they're on blue side, they don't need to ban Ornn because it's put on the red side's pressure to ban away Ornn, because if they don't ban away Ornn, then they can just put Axel on Ornn, and he can just go off on Ornn. So that puts them in a better position. And the thing is that now they're going back to the Shen. When we saw this Shen in the first game, it was Ruby on it, so now it's actually a swap where Axum is now on the Shen this time. So that's very interesting because I'm not sure if Ruby will pick the Gnar again. That name might have tilted him to the point he doesn't want to play Gnar again, so he most likely will be on something else.
Right, and I feel like it's more of a steal, but like you said, he might not even play the Gnar, but I feel like either way, it's more of a steal. Like, Shin still plays well into Gnar if he at least has some sort of an even advantage, unlike that first game where Ruby Shin did get an advantage in the top lane that allowed him to, you know, keep his lead against Axum. We do see Mariella pick that Lee Sin, though, that can be so dangerous and so capable for this Heritage High School squad.
Yeah, I mean, now he's back on the Lee Sin. This pick, he pulled out in Game 3 against Red Rabbits, pulled it out, I believe, in the semifinals in Game 2, if I'm correct. And he has been lights out on his Lee Sin. He's been able to make a lot of plays, even though last week he did have some moments of Lee Syndrome. Overall, he's been excellent on this Lee Sin. But the response is Rek'Sai. And Rek'Sai, she's alright right now because, I mean, he would harbor Jarvan, but we saw how well that worked for Murillo going into his Lee Sin. I think he doesn't want to do that, so he decided to go for the Rek'Sai, go for big tanks that can protect this Jhin. And here's the thing with Jhin. Lethality is starting to come back, which is why we're starting to see more Jhin. He goes well with Summon Airy, so that's probably why we're starting to see him have some kind of resurgence. The thing is, they need to find some form of sustained damage, because Jhin goes in slow bursts with his bullets, and he's usually engaging from far away in team fights. They need a form of sustained damage in these team fights, and Cassiopeia could be good for Jesus Chris to play, and as a champion to get sustained damage, or any champion that can, or even going back to the Corki, who does magic damage and is able to do a lot more sustained damage throughout the fight.
And you know what? I'm a little bit confused and perplexed why red lights aren't going off in Remembrance's head right now. If they don't ban away Decano's Thresh, they're giving away... Okay, there it goes. All right, I was about to say, they're giving away 4 power picks to the side of Heritage High School. They already gave away 3 in the Caitlyn, the Lee Sin, and the Talia. Jazz Talia is one of the best in Diamond Plus, and this Braum is still an adequate substitution for the Thresh. We know Decano will still play it aggressively, and without a Tark to, take away some of this team fight potential, I think Remembrance has to be a little bit scared in this draft.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a Malachi being picked up to finish off this draft for Heritage High School because you can basically make a huge tank line and make it very hard for Jin to get his bulls across because that's Jin's biggest weakness. You pick him too early, then the rest of the enemy team could just pick tanks. It'll be very hard to get him by. But I mean, we saw this earlier. Axum does like his carries, and wait, that's Shen
Pause.
support. That's Shen support.
Yeah. Who? What? Nani?
Not much.
Okay.
Well, Shen has been rising up. Mata has been playing it. Some more supports and pro play have been playing it in their solo queue games. Sion going to be the tank of choice for Bruby that like to dive onto the carries. So Shen, because he can have his, most specifically Leona, not necessarily Braum, but Leona is the specific one that Shen is supposed to counter, but he can go well to any sort of tanky. He also has his taunt to peel away, as well as the ability to do roams, like potentially roam mid or top, sort of similar if he were in top lane, to do sort of the roaming support style instead of just walking there, just using his ulti.
I'm hearing everything you're dishing out, friend, but I'm just so skeptical of this pick, mainly because I won't lie, I'm a little bit biased. The last Shin support I played with fed my lane, made me angry, caused me to tilt. But, I mean, it's just something that hasn't been seen. Maybe, I mean, you said you had good points, so maybe it will work out the way they intend to with this Jin Shen. You know, he can protect the Jin, allow him to basically farm safer than he would against the Caitlyn Braum otherwise, and also in team fights, help him survive not only with his standing 9, but also, like you said, with the auto attacks being blocked. But then let's go ahead and look for this at this Scion for TLF Bruby, because I feel like for him, it has the same feel almost as that Ornn in the top lane. He loves so much he's tanky, but at the same time he does enough damage to still be a threat. However, I think Axum has something to say about that on this Jace, which is one of his favorite comfort picks.
Yeah, and Jason's in a really strong spot right now because right now the top lane meta is tanks like Ornn and Maokai and Shen, or you have these range carries like Gnar, like Kennen, or potentially Jace, who can be in a range form and poke the Scion. But the thing is with Scion, as long as he has minions, he can sort of throw some poke back with a Z and be able to contest Jace in the poke battle. But because Jace has a range advantage, he'll probably have an advantage early and be able to sort of pressure the Scion. But if Marilla could come in and help out the Scion, then Jace will probably be neutralized. And if Jace doesn't get ahead, he will have a huge fall off if he doesn't get a huge lead on this Scion and try and press that like he did with the Camille last game.
Exactly, and then, you know, vice versa, Scion, if he gets a big lead, Scion actually does a lot of damage, not only in lane, but later in the game with his devastating charge and the other tools that are at his faculty, and, you know, knock somebody up. But if he misses that charge, the biggest thing he can do if he doesn't have a massive lead is just be a disruptor, but he doesn't really, in my mind, add anything that would push their team composition over the edge with a pocket pick like this.
Yeah, it does rely for engage potential. It does rely on hitting his charge. If he misses it, he's going to be in a very awkward position trying to walk around, maybe land a Q for Peel for his carries and to Leah and Caitlyn. He can also use his E to get some that's being hit. So that's the thing with E. He can either do more damage with it, or he can use it as utility for his AD carry to do more damage.
So, Nezzy, now that we've gone through all the particulars, who do you think has the best chance of taking this game 3? Whose pocket pick do you think will work the best going into this game 3? The one that could possibly be the clincher, depending on who it goes to and how it goes down.
Yeah, not necessarily clincher, but it will lead it to game point. I'm looking at this. This is the first time I've seen a Shen support like casting it. I saw a Shen support like many months ago in a Brazilian game I did a unofficial broadcast of, but that was a long time ago. But I would have to give it to Heritage High School. I like Caitlyn more than like Jin because Jin is just more for utility. And Malzahar, he did receive a nerf this patch. So his ultimate does not do as much damage. It nerfed his scaling and the base damage. So Malzahar isn't as big as a threat as he was in the last patch. And as we saw, Jazz on this Talia, Murillo on his Lee Sin, there a lot of comfort for the jungle mid duo. And I've seen these two on these picks, and they haven't lost on them.
Well, that is something to truly be afraid of if you're a Remembrance fan. But we are in the loading screen, so I'm going to go ahead and read down the blue side lineup. Nezzy, you can take red. So, For Remembrance in the top lane, we have Axum on the on the Jace, Havoc on Rek'Sai, Jesus Chris on Malzahar, Light on the Jhin, and good old Gelatin on that surprising support Shin.
And on the red side, we have the young team of high schoolers and Brooby at Heritage High School. In the top lane, we have Brooby on the Scion. In the jungle, we have Barilla on the signature Lee Sin. In the mid lane, we have Jess on the Talia looking to make some roams. In the bottom lane, you have DJ Holiday on his favorite champion, Caitlyn. And in the support role, we have Janko on the Braum.
Yes, for all of you that might not have known, the high school moniker for Heritage High School is a bit of a bamboozle as, yes, they do have 4 high schools on team, except for Ruby. He was an addition for the team that does not go to Heritage High School in North Carolina. So, you know, they're a little bit of a fraud. They have a fraud element to it, but it doesn't matter if they win this game. No one will worry about that. And maybe this is the game that Ruby kind of redeems himself for that. Let's just call what it was, an abysmal performance in Game 2.
Yeah, those type of performances, it can do one of two things. It can either demotivate you through the next game and you're constantly thinking about that, or you get over it and use it as fuel to motivate yourself in the next game to perform better and prove that you can do just that one game was just a fluke and that you are a strong top laner in this league.
And we saw Heritage High School there trying to already be aggressive, trying for the 5-man invade. However, they are spotted by Rek'Sai, and so it will be foiled, and it will give Remembrance the opportunity to move to the top, to the blue side of Mariella's jungle, and actually try and steal his blue buff. So we'll see. I mean, they're going to be able to take it, so that should be able to set Mariella back a little, you know, unless he can find some sort of early kill or something else to compensate for that loss.
Yeah, thankfully for Morello, Lee Sin uses energy, so he's not as reliant on blue buff. So he could potentially go and sort of repay the favor and steal away the blue from Havoc. But the thing is, that's already warded. So if he goes over there, he'll be spotted out. Another thing he could do is do something a little bit cheesy and go for a level 2 gank onto the top lane, following up his Scion, and try to kill this chase early and put him behind.
And Nezzy, early aggression, like you were saying, early aggression from Mariella, possibly taking those early invades, is exactly what we want to see from Heritage High School. And it's this vision that Remembrance puts down that will be able to negate that and basically take away the last good strategy Heritage High School has, which is usually the fallback on the Mariella's Lee Sin.
Yeah. The thing is, they do have Jazz. He's on the Talia. He's on a roaming champion. Like the NLSS mentioned, he should be on something that roams, is able to press his lead. It looks like Havoc is able to reclaim his own blue from the looks of it. Actually, let me check.
He did get it, yeah.
Yeah, so Havoc able to get both blues, so he should be able to 3-buff Morello. So he'll be a bit behind. He's just going to have to take the Skull Crab for his troubles. And that's the thing. Lee Sin, he's an early ganker. He needs to try and make plays early, because he's going to fall off, and Rek'Sai will just become bulky as a bruiser. As right now, Rek'Sai has this bruiser build where you could go Warrior, Black Cleaver, and then into tank, or you could just go classic full Cinderhulk, go full tank in order to be frontline for the team, which, I mean, if he goes bruiser, they'll technically have 1.5 tanks instead of having 2 tanks, and usually I've sort of a rule of thumb to have at least 2 frontliners on the team, so if he does go bruiser, the frontline won't be as solid as if he just went full tank, though I understand if he wants to have some damage, because Rek'Sai does have those better AD scalings with her little bit of mini rework that happened a few months ago.
And advantages already cropping up around the map for the side of Remembrance. They have a jungle lead, as we already saw, and a slight CS lead, but also a lane priority lead in the bottom lane. The only lane that they really they're actually kind of behind and surprisingly, is the top lane, where Brooby has a 5 CS gold lead, and he also has lane priority on this Scion, pushing Axum back on this Jace early.
Yeah, and while he's pushing him in, he could potentially leave Morello time to go into those bushes and try and go for a lane gank and try and put some pressure on him. And as they get into a fight, here goes Morello.
And Mario, he can't land the Sonic Wave. It doesn't hit. If he did, that surely would have been a kill on the Jace. Axum able to get away alive, but he will flash for his efforts, and he possibly will have to TP back to lane. but it looks like he'll just stay even at half health. Mariello is recalling, however, he will not return for another gank.
Yeah, I mean, if he did land, that would have been potentially a kill, or at least he would have been forced 100% to go back. But he did at least get some pressure. Excuse me. And now that it's a 33 to looks like about 20 CS lead, but the wave is pushing to him, so that lead should probably close a little bit as Axum looks to collect the wave.
And we see Havoc playing aggressive in the jungle of Mariello. He took the Gromp, and now he's moving on to his other side of the jungle, just taking advantage of the pressure he has in his bottom lane. DJ Holiday and Decano being pushed in, not something we're used to seeing.
Yeah, because they've had these sort of aggressive lanes. Well, game 1 they had a lane that was even, and game 2 they had a lane that was winning. Now this lane, even though Caitlyn has a range advantage, Jin can still do a lot of damage if he's able to get close, as well as good old Dalton. If he gets on top of DJ Holiday, and it doesn't really matter what the range is, because Jin will be able to take Chunker down with his bullets, while DJ Holiday be going at good old Jelton because of the taunt. So you'll have to be careful going into 2v2 with these two, because Jin does have a decent fight early, but here comes Mariello.
Mariello was trying to look for a gank, but good old Jelton actually landed a taunt on the back end to negate the gank from Lee Sin and actually chunk him down extremely low. And Jesus Christ did pop the TP, so he is there to respond. But Jazz came on the flank, and there's nowhere to escape for the side of Remembrance. The wall is there. The flash came out from Light. Will he be able to get away? I don't think so, but he actually is able to run away. Yes, the Q misses from DJ Holiday, and he could go down. First blood does go over to Malzahar, and good old Jelton is trying to fall through onto Decano. Decano going extremely low. Jesus Christ is knocked back by the seismic shove, but that team fight was completely flipped around by Remembrance, and they take first blood.
Yeah, that was an excellent ultimate from Jesus Christ. Able to crucify DJ Holiday and make him completely pass out and die, as he was able to catch him with the Never Grasp. And even though it is nerfed, it is able to do enough damage to take down DJ Holiday, give first blood to the mid lane, and that's a lane they'd really like to get ahead, because it can, losing that first blood, he could potentially have a chance to neutralize Jazz.
And, you know, exactly, now that Malzahar has his kill, you know, he can just continue to push Jast in. As we know, Malzahars love to just, you know, pop that Malefic Vision, push you in, and then go roam lanes. And in the bottom lane, while Light didn't get that kill, just having Caitlyn die and be forced out of lane does give him the breathing room to push the wave and then go back and buy his serrated Dirk. So he is going to lethality Jin build path, but now he is way more comfortable in this lane than he was before.
Yeah, he is way more comfortable, and when you go to his lethality pass, you don't rely on your autos, you rely on your abilities, and he's relying on his ultimate to basically start chunking people. But the problem is, he's going to have to try and get past the tank line of Braum, Sion, and Lee Sin, who will most likely be building into more tanky as the game goes on. So he'll have to be very precise with his shots, because if he just rams them into the front line, they're not going to do anything, because the front line will be building armor.
So we do have an 800 goal lead in favor of Remembrance. Axum taking a little bit of trade damage from Brewby, but nothing really doing in the top lane. Not exactly what Noodle fight, but just no one, you know, getting close to death. Just a lot of skirmishes as Jesus Christ works on a ward. And Remembrance, they have most of their lanes pushed in. You see Rek'Sai moving in, trying to find out where the Lee Sin is, laying down some vision possibly. He has Axum roam down as well, and now they might look for a gank in this mid lane on the Jast.
Yeah, I'm looking at these CS leads, and as a solo lanes, it's much in favor of Heritage High School, but in sort of the jungle and AD carry, it's going in favor of Remembrance. So pretty much it evens out overall in the state of the game, and therefore that leaves the first blood available, and who assists that went along with it, pretty much giving them the gold lead for right now. But they have to try and take advantage of this, get some more pressure, potentially helping out these solo lanes that are behind in farm, and potentially try and take out the opposing laners and give their solo lanes the breathing room. That's what Remembrance needs to do to try and get some more control over this game.
Exactly, and I mean, it's all up to Havoc to do that, as he's mainly just been sort of power farming, trying to make sure he keeps track of Lee Sin through the jungle, and now they might be able to actually pinch Mariello as he is trying to steal the red from Havoc. Havoc is making his way down. They do not spot him yet. Has he taken it? He didn't take it yet. He's just going to run away and go to take Mountain Drake instead. So now the rest of Heritage High School will back him up to support, and they'll just try and take this Mountain Drake for free, as good old Gelatin and Havoc are there to possibly respond. And the Jin ult is actually popped to try and push him away from it. But the Dragon is still at 2k health about. They should be able to take this one even with the Jin ultimate being popped. The Jin ult basically just leashes. Decano actually trying to get Havoc away from this Dragon, and they'll actually kill the Rek'Sai he was trying to steal, and it will still go over to the side of Heritage High School. Now Jesus Christ does pop the ultimate onto Mariello, but doesn't get the kill, and now he'll go down. The kill will go to Jast, and now that's a Malzahar down, 2 kills and a Mountain Drake in favor of Heritage High School, and now they are the ones who are comfortable in their own skins.
Yeah, I mean, Havoc was trying to make himself famous, get a steal, but unfortunately he got caught. And it was good by this one by Heritage High School, not trying to burst down the Mountain Drake while the jungler was still alive and kicking. They kept the Mountain Drake, and they burst down the jungler, and then finished the Drake, so there isn't going to take a chance for a 50-50 smite.
And now they will take the first brick of the game as well, so a huge gold influx for the side of Heritage High School. The gold deficit went from 800 out of their favor to about 2,000 in their favor just off that short series of plays alone. And now their recall, this Kaylin will get her BF sword. The Talia does have the last chapter working with a Merrill and Omicom, so now they're back on track to staying ahead of Remembrance.
Yeah, I mean, Remembrance were in a good spot, but they tried to contest something they were not in a position to contest. They had people around, but they're over walls, they were out of position, they weren't in a right formation to start a fight and try to contest that Drake. So they should just let them have the Drake for now and just keep and try and get some pressure elsewhere, but instead they try to contest it, and then they ended up dying for it. So instead of trying to steal a dragon and make a really sweet play, they ended up giving over their lead to Heritage High School.
And now Heritage High School is able to set up the Vision like they love to. It was a smiley face of Vision in the bomb side of the map. Now it's like a smirk of Vision, as they do have about 7-8 wards on that bomb side of the map alone. And I mean, just more mistakes from Remembrance. It just seems like neither of these teams are really learning from the past experiences of these games, and it's all about, right now it just seems like it's all about what side you play on.
Yeah, I mean, if Heritage does follow through and win this game, Red Side would have 100% win rate this series, and I would have 100% accuracy on picking, so that'd be also pretty nice. But anyway, it seems that a counter pick is really nice for them, as Roby knew what he was going to be able to picking into this Jace. But he's going to be getting ganked right now.
He is ganked in the top lane, but he is able to just walk away, and DJ Holiday does dodge the W from the Jin. Mariello will find a way out. They were trying to find a gank, however. Good old Chelsea, will he die for this? Yes, he will die. He will go down for his 80 carry sake. Now Light wants to follow through, and so is Jesus Christ. They do land the stun onto the Talia, so Jazz does go down for it, and now Light wants to continue the chase. Axum did TP down to try and follow up, but he will run away as well. Sion ends up canceling his own TP. Light gets the kill off the Comet! Oh, the trap finds DJ Holiday. So that turns the trade in favor of Remembrance, and now they'll just push this bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, I see what Jazz was trying to do, but he went ahead of his team. He was already in the middle of the fight before his team was able to follow up on that dive. So he wasn't able to do it. But Marilla
back into the turret. Light is going low, but the Shin ultimate comes through. It's not enough. It's not in time. As good old Gelatin comes through, but it won't save Jin's life. A kill going over to Mariello. A great play to catch out the 80 carry and find something back for all their losses in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Light bit off a bit more than he could chew. He got that nice snipe. He was feeling all confident and all, and he only had to deal with Braum, but he didn't check his mini-map, and it looks like he didn't really have the vision to do so. Actually, he may have seen Barillo, but it was a little too late. So he ended up getting caught, nearly kicked in. Sentinel was like a second away from saving him, but it was only a second too late, as he did go down right as Shen was showing up. So, well, unfortunate timing, and even though they won that fight quite well, they ended up giving up a kill they really didn't need to give up.
Exactly. Now, if you remember, your mistakes are now piling up against you, my friends, as They're now down still about 1.5, 1.8, 1.4k gold. Axum will get ganked, however, he will have to pop flash to get away. Brooby did pop the devastating charge to try and follow in, but he'll just have to walk away. But my biggest worry is that Axum in his top lane. Oh wait, nope, Jesus Christ falls through. He does use the flash nether grass. This could be a kill. A flash from Jazz to get away. Axum does find a kill onto mid laner. Brooby trying to find one back. He will find Jesus Christ, and he's gonna try and chase down the Jace. Axum is trying to find a kill on the back end, but he does get the kill, and Brooby is trying to chase him down as well. Mariello wants one of his own. Light is being pressed on the bomb lane. They might go for the 3v2 gank here. Mariello, he can't find a Sonic Wave, and Rek'Sai is in the bottom lane trying to find the rest of Heritage High School. Havoc is putting down damage into DJ Holiday. Will he pop the ultimate to follow through? He will not just yet. And now good old Gelatin and Havoc are stuck between a rock and a hard place as Light will continue to take down this turret, but they only have 1 minion left. They should still get the turret for it anyways. So all in all, a positive trade for the side of Remembrance.
Yeah, they are able to pick up the turret. Even though it's not the first turret, they were able to get that dive executed quite nicely. And they were able to do it because Barilla was on the top side trying to finish off a kill on the Axum. But he was unable to finish it off. He makes the Sonic Wave. He wasn't able to get the safeguard onto Brivia before he died. So he wasn't able to lock down Axum in a place where Sonic could catch up and kill him. But he still has the chance. He is trying to pursue this Rift Herald, and will probably be taking it himself or putting it on Jazz.
Exactly, this relentless pursuit of objectives. Axum actually dodges DJ Kano's Winter's Bite, but he won't be able to dodge the rest of Heritage High School. He'll go down just as soon as he felt confident going back to lane, and they will also get the Rift Herald on the back of it. So even in the face of losing one fight, Heritage High School continues their aggression. This is the game that our analysts just want to see, that Shadow Visions want to see out of his young recruits. But they are still on the back foot as Remembrance decides to go for this mid lane turret. They should be able to take this in response. Heritage High School is trying to respond.
Oh.
And they will actually save the turret as Remembrance does have to back away. But Brooby is still just damaging this turret in the top lane. He should be able to find this one, no problem.
Yeah, he was left alone, and it's another case of you got a kill, you feel good about yourself, and you stayed too long, and pretty much gave up a kill yourself. They got the Rift Herald, they managed to save their tower even though they were out of position, and now they're trying to pursue the down Drake, and where is Havoc? Havoc is within range, he is out on the Drake, they're able to push him off. Looks like 3v4, they're able to get them away, and now each team has a mountain for themselves. So both these teams will be doing 10% more damage to objectives, like towers, like inhibitors, and even like monsters like Dragon and Baron.
Exactly, and I mean Heritage High School biting off a little bit more than they can chew. Luckily, they didn't get punished for it as they were able to back away, but they do give away the neutral objectives. But to summarize where we are right now in the game, it is a 5-6 kill lead in favor of Heritage High School. They do have a slight gold lead, about a 1.5k gold lead right now. And they're just slowly pushing out their lanes. Caitlyn will go to the mid lane to try and contest this free farm, while Talia will rotate to the bottom lane, trying to save this turret from Malzahar, but it should actually go down to the rest of Remembrance.
Yeah, right now the tempo is, even though they're behind in gold, they do have a bit of a tempo advantage as they're able to take down their opponent's mid lane. So now both mid lane towers are down. The map is much more open for both teams. So it's at this point in the game where teams need to try and find these little pockets where there aren't wards, aren't people, and try and put their own respective wards there so they can potentially catch out the enemy if they walk by that area again and they're alone and vulnerable.
And speaking of vulnerable, Mariello thought that good old Gelatin was vulnerable. He did use the Dragon's Raise, the kick, trying to find a pick onto the Shin, but he just kicked them the wrong way. He figured he didn't have anything, so they just disengaged, and once again will continue pushes, but Remembrance, continuing their tempo advantage, now have priority on this top lane turret.
Yeah, they're definitely on the tempo advantage. They got the mid lane, and they transitioned to top lane. Well, looks like Heritage High School is being reactive and trying to capitalize on it. And it looks like they're going to do it. Talia wall play with a 2v3.
Oh, but Light does barely get away from being trapped by the Weaver's wall. That Yomu's Ghostblade saving his life as Talia cannot find him, and both Rek'Sai and Dim will just get away. And Havoc will steal the smite on the Rift Scuttler. So just so much fortune going in favor of Remembrance as they back away. Now this Jace is in the mid lane. Shin and Jesus Christ are trying to find something onto Ruby in the bottom lane, but no dice. He'll just play it safe in bot. And there are pings going down in the top lane for DJ Holiday. The Jhin ultimate is popped. He misses one shot. I believe he hit the last one. And Havoc is still trying to dive. The Shin ultimate comes through as well. They just want to go ahead and try and finish this off. Ooh. They will finish it off. Havoc finds it on DJ Holiday. But Jacano comes through. He stalls long enough to get one kill. Will they find anything else on the back? They do get a TP out of Jesus Chris. And Axum is still going through. The Nether Grasp is onto Ruby, and they will find a kill onto the Scion. But Ruby will just trade another kill for good old Gelatin, and he's just going to continue trying to clear this wave as 3 members stay in the top lane. They will get a turret, but it's still a turret for turret trade, and about as even a trade as you can get for the side of Heritage High School.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to get 2 kills.
Oh boy, Mariella with a flash sonic wave finds one. He hits one Dragon's Kick. Can he finish it before Jesus Chris can kill him? He does. The flash comes through 2 for Jesus Chris. Oh no, buddy. The auto attack still followed him. That's a killing spree for Mariello, and that left Talia to take another turret in the middle lane. Great stalling by the Heritage High School jungler.
Yeah, they were able to. That was just a comedy of errors in a way. Just a lot of fights, and this thing. The Remembrance got a kill, and then they gave up one. And then Heritage tried to stay around to pick up more. They died, and then they managed to pick up another kill. And then it kept going back and forth until Morello picked off Jesus Christ and pretty much take him down before he could really do anything. Now, and Jesus Christ got a sliver of health after Lee Sin's main combo, thought he could get away, but unfortunately got a kick right to the face before he could get out.
And as he has in this entire series, just seemed like a comedy of errors. It's been one team or another just making mistakes over and over again, and yeah, I feel like it's like when one team makes mistakes, who will make a even harder mistake after that mistake? It's like a never-ending cycle of mistakenal abuse. I just made that up, trying to, I don't know. We'll get back to the game. Forget my ramblings. So we are at about an 800 gold lead for the side of Heritage High School as Ruby will find Axum in the river. He won't fall through, however, with the knockup because he had no backup. So at the moment, Remembrance just trying to set up vision around the Barrymore. Heritage High School farming up, clearing waves, pushing and trying to combat Remembrance's tempo.
Yeah, I mean, he nearly had that go off, but he got interrupted because of the Jace Hammer knocking him out of his animation. So it's gonna be, oh, here we go.
Oh, and we go in. Ruby comes through with everything charged. He does find good old Jelson, so he will not be able to save his backline. They do find Rek'Sai, but Rek'Sai does pop the open to dodge the seismic shove. It will not be enough. Mariello's on a rampage, and now that's 5v4 in the mid lane for the side of Heritage High School. They will continue to push in the mid lane. They'll actually start walking over toward this dragon pit, getting it ready, trying to clear vision, not prioritizing Baron like we thought they might, instead clearing waves, finding advantages where they can, and that's clearing out this river, pushing the mid lane, and pushing what they can with Rek'Sai off the map.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean,
whoa, hold on. We have Light actually popping his ultimate. The curtain call comes through, but they won't be able to find anyone. Axum was waiting for it, and oh, I thought that Mariella had stolen the Rift Scuttler from Jesus Christ, but no, it was not meant to be. The Malefic Vision still comes through, but I don't know how much Remembrance can actually contest this Mountain Drake. As we see both teams pinging around the objective. Action not popping off just yet. Both teams just posturing around the objective.
Yeah, that's the thing. Rek'Sai was down for a good amount of time, but they weren't able to get good enough positioning on the Dragon, so that allowed enough time for Havoc to come back to the Dragon. Now they have much more better positional advantage, but looks like Heritage are still going to contest.
The Weaver's Wall has been popped, although I can't really tell where because it's not anywhere near this fight. They're just trying to trap. They tried to trap Remembrance in, but they didn't actually follow through on the play. Decano actually pops the glass cone back into the fight, and that will get Ruby killed as he just knocked up 5 ways to Sunday in several different directions and gets killed. He dies for support's transgressions. Jesus Christ said, buddy, now you feel my pain. Take the nail from my cross, sir. I don't think he can handle it. He couldn't handle it. He dies, and now be Mountain Drake for the side of Remembrance. And now the curtain call comes out again. Can they find anything else? The Weaver's Wall is popped to try and section off Jazz from the rest of Remembrance. They will not find it, but they do get the ulti, and they now have priority in mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to contest. Go, go, go. They're trying to continue fighting them, but unfortunately that fight did not go in their favor. So they ended up giving up a kill and the Drake over. So that's 3 Mountain Drakes. That's all the Mountain Drakes are going to see. And Remembrance managed to get 2 of them. So that's 20% extra damage to towers and dragons and barons, which are currently up right now.
Exactly. It's just so much more threat to these objectives, as you said, as well as this split push Jace, who was just pushing the bottom lane by himself, but we all know how good Jace can be as a split pusher. Even though he doesn't have his second item finished yet, he does have that Black Cleaver. He does do a good bit of damage, but now it looks like Heritage High School wants to collapse on him. Axum is on the run. Can he finish the dream? He does finally get away, and Heritage High School can't find anything. They just settle for Clearing Vision. I hope someone got that song reference, but I don't think they did, as Heritage High School will move toward the Baron to assert their dominance and control around that river area.
Yeah, I mean, Baron is up. It's 25 minutes in the game, so it's starting to get to a point where it is possible to take it in a decent amount of time. And the thing is, they need to get their damage there if they want to take it. They need to use the Talia Wall effectively. It is still on cooldown, so they're most likely going to have to wait until the wall is up, and then if they want to attempt it, cut off Havoc and the rest of his team from trying to contest the Baron. So that way they can't walk in there and contest it if they have to go through the wall or use their dash move. Any of their moves that are dashes, like Rek'Sai Tunnel or a Shen Dash, to try and get past the wall instead of using it to get onto their squishies.
And I mean, Nezzy, this is the first game we've seen Heritage High School take a more complex team composition with more win conditions than just group up as 5 and fight. And right now, I mean, they have a slight lead, but otherwise, it's just not proving worthy.
Yeah. I mean, they're finding different ways. Morella has had an excellent game on Lee Sin 4-0-1. Jassa had a pretty good game on this Talia, though, I mean, the bot lane has seen better days, unfortunately. DJ Holiday is 0-3-3 right now. And, I mean, Jaco hasn't died yet, but he has 2 kills. I guess that's a positive for him. Though that would be better on someone like DJ Holiday or anybody else but Braum. But, hey, you gotta take the kills when you get them.
Exactly. And they're just getting outpaced in this game, as once again, Remembrance to have the Baron control, and they're going to go back to mid lane to push. Axum is answering Brooby in the top lane. He's actually going to aggress on the Brooby, trying to keep him occupied. Actually just going to go for the kill. Brooby trying to run away. Will he be able to pop the ultimate to get out? We don't know, as he's just taking this onslaught barrage from Axum, and Axum actually blocks it with his own leap, and this could be the kill for the top laner. Axum is still going to try and go through. Does he get the kill? I can't tell. I am frozen. Nezzy, finish it for me, sir.
They're still brawling, but here comes DJ Holiday. All he's had to kill, and here comes Brooby coming back, and actually looks like he did get the kill, but DJ Holiday was able to get the return kill, and looks like Remembrance are on Baron.
They are on Baron. They did start up. The curtain call comes through, but it is a even 4v4. I don't know how much they can get out of this. Light just trying to peel, just trying to kite Heritage High School away so they can try and start this Baron back up, but instead they'll just settle for more Baron vision control again. And Axum and Brooby, if it wasn't for Holiday coming through and helping out his top lane, that would have been a 1-for-none trade, and that would have been double the pressure. And even though Remembrance recognized that, hey, their 80 carries in the bottom lane right now, they still couldn't take that Baron.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to use the General Spin, but they were not able to really chunk out anyone, as it just basically went to the tanks. So that's the problem with Jhin. Like, once you get this point in the game, the tanks are starting to get tankier, and it's really hard to get to these squishies unless you get a nice shot, which you need to be very accurate. I mean, all Braum needs to do is put up his shield, and Jhin has a really hard time getting past it, and that's probably why they went with the Braum, because Braum can not only take the shots, he can just take no damage from the shots by just putting up the shield and blocking it.
Exactly, and even though Heritage High School is having issues, you know, increasing their lead, they can still just sort of wait it out, because Caitlyn still outscales Jhin, since this Jhin hasn't really been able to do anything other than, you know, he has 1 kill, but otherwise he's not scaling like Jhin needs to. and Caitlyn will just catch up. Mariella will still have some sort of viability with being able to kick people in, and the Scion Lee Sin engage is enough to win team fights once you have a late game Tilly and Caitlyn. And now the Weavers will actually come in. It traps 3 members in it, and now this could be the fight that Heritage High School is looking for. Axum tries to go for Holiday, but he won't find a kill. He'll go down first. Havoc is on the backside, but while he's on the backside, the rest of the team on the front side is being massacred as Jesus Christ will be the first to go down. Good old Gelatin will follow next. It's an easy 4-for-none trade for the side of Heritage High School. Once again, they find the mistake they're looking for, and they'll take this Baron because of it.
Yeah, an excellent use of a Weaver's Ball by Jazz. Checking 3 members of Remembrance in it, and they're able to take him out before the rest of the team can follow up. Jin just used ultimate and did pretty much nothing. And pretty much that leaves them with the Baron. All 5 members are up. Decent enough health to start these push on these towers.
And push down the towers they will. As they go toward the top lane, they're going to take this tier 2 while Jazz is in the mid lane just pushing his waves in, buying, getting that wave ready for them to push it once they finish resetting, and reset they will. And I expect big buys coming in from all members of Heritage High School after that massive Baron take.
Yeah, they got 4 kills and the Baron as well as the turret, so that's going to be a bunch of big buys, a bunch of items being completed, and that's going to be very huge for them as Heritage High School has gotten control back firmly on this game. They have the tools to do it. They have the Baron. They can definitely get a few more towers out of this. They can probably finish up that bot lane, outer bot lane turret that still has not been taken down. They'll just send down Sion to take it out. And as for the rest of them, they can just sort of, from the looks of things, they could just go 1-4, have Sion finish out the bottom turret, and then send a 4 down mid lane to try and take down his inhibitor turret.
And if Remembrance thought that Mariella's Lee Sin had fallen off from quarterfinals and semifinals, oh wait, they're setting up a bush gank. They don't find anybody though. So back to my earlier statement, if they thought that Mariella's Lee Sin between quarterfinals and semis would fall off to where they could leave it up for pick, then they were wrong. He has gone off. He has gone savage. 6-0-2 in this game. He is leading his team to victory with these engages, with these kills, and this is a Lee Sin unleashed.
Yeah, that's why he has this pick. Whether his team has their back against the wall, or if they need a win, he pulls it out, and they're able. And from the looks of this, if this continues, they'll go up 2-1 and have game point in this series. Knock on wood, assuming that they are able to finish this game up.
And now we see, like in the bottom lane, Axum doesn't really do much damage to Bruby anymore. Bruby is now tanking up with Thormo. Actually, Mariella gets caught out, but it's only just a bit of damage to ward him away from laying vision and possibly finding a pick. But now Jazz will try and wall off as many members as possible, try and take this turret. Light will pop his curtain call, trying to respond, trying to continue the zone, but Jacano just uses his unbreakable will to block the shots, and now the push will continue. They're just trying to protect this single cannon minion so he doesn't die, but Light will get to that one. So they save this turret for now, but Talia's going up to the top lane. The rest of the team will rotate to the bottom lane soon, eventually. No, they won't. They'll just all stay mid while Bruby rotates to the bottom lane to take it. And now I can make my earlier point, which was Bruby, he no longer takes that much damage from Axum. They're now on even footing. And Jazz in the top lane is about to get taken out 3v1. On the bottom lane, it could be a trade as well, as they're trying to kill Axum, but they won't find a kill, so a 1-for-0 trade in favor of Remembrance. And that slows down Heritage High School's push even further. But Ruby?
Here comes the trade.
Oh. Yeah, he was going in, but he doesn't find anyone. I think it was just to zone them off from the turret so they could take it, so they could find some sort of trade in all this madness. They do find a turret for a kill, and then they reset Heritage High School in front by about 6.8 thousand gold.
Yeah, not to dissuade you from going for a tower, then a big sign yelling cowards at you while going to his train form. But yeah, it was a zoning ult pretty much. That's the old excuse that actually is somewhat viable here, because they was able to zone off Remembrance from pursuing the defense of that tower, but they had the back and they leave this Ocean Drake open for taking.
And that just increases Remembrance's objective control as far as monsters. They didn't get Baron, but they do have 3 Drakes, 2 Mountain, 1 Ocean, so that region does come through. So maybe they can get an Elder Drake later in the game and find a way to even things up. Otherwise, Decano is sitting here clearing vision. Mariello is doing the same. They're just expanding their vision net, making sure that they have complete control of this map as they begin to start their individual pushes.
Yeah, they need to try and gain some control, mostly on the bot side jungle. So if they get control of that bot side jungle and they're able to take down the bot side inhibitor, the next time Baron comes up, it'll be harder for Remembrance to contest because they'll have a consistent stream of minion waves going in if their bot inhibitor is down. And they will have a hard time trying to go up to the top side to contest Baron if they're just bleeding from the bottom side and having their Nexus towers being attacked by super minions.
And we just see the Knight's Vow being popped from Rek'Sai onto Lights, just trying to provide some more protection for his embattled Jhin. Still sitting at 1-1 and 5, but not having the impact they would like for him to have. He has landed a couple very good W's onto carries, so I mean he's helping out, but this isn't the Jhin that we want to see, who's blasting carries and just completely one-shotting people with a Q and a fourth shot.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's really hard for Jhin to do that.
Oh, just talking about Jhin, he does find Mariella, but Mariella does find a kick in, and the Weaver's Wall will separate Axum from his team. Now Jacano is trying to land as many odds as he can, trying to get that pass on as many people as he can, and have it go down to the back of the fight, trying to stall for his team, while the rest of Remembrance is in packing, and the rest of Heritage High School decide to push mid.
Yeah, they're so hard to kill right now. They're able to stall long enough. Mariella got caught and was able to... Him and Janko got caught and so stall long enough for Talia to come in, for the Sion TP to come in, but here comes Jhin.
Jhin did pop the current call, trying to send out this wave right now, but it's not doing the job he wants to. And now Ruby will pop the ultimate, trying to kite Jhin away. They can take the turret, but the Nether Grass is popped on top of Mariello. It won't matter. It did nothing to him. The only member that might go down here is Ruby, and that's a big might. He does go down. Jesus Christ does get him with the follow-up Q, but Light is blocked by the big body mass of Ruby. He will go down, but he did save his team. All in all, they still got the inhibitor turret, but they do sacrifice a life.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't the worst thing. I mean, if someone is going to have to die, it's going to be your tank. That could have been a bit cleaner, but he did manage to grab the inhibitor turret. So now that leaves that inhibitor exposed for potential pushback. And a Baron is coming up in 35 seconds. So they're going to have to process themselves quite nicely for it since they haven't pushed back. Right, here comes Rek'Sai.
Havoc, what are you doing? He ults in, but he gets kicked by Mariella. It did find a kill. Shin comes through just to save his life. No one dies, but that's a Shin ultimate and a Rek'Sai ultimate now down for the side of Remembrance, right before Baron spawns.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. Baron's up in 12 seconds. And the thing is, all the effects have been completed by Heritage High School, and they're starting to make their way towards this Baron. So they're going to probably set up Pigeon. Jazz does have his ultimate backup, so they'll just need to make their way towards Baron, and if Remembrance tries to contest, just use the Weaver's Wall.
Exactly. As you see, 4 members already head toward it. Talia is clearing the wave that Jace has set up in the bottom lane. Now, Jace does have TP, and so does Jesus Chris, so they do have some forms to respond to a possible Baron take. But how would they know? Because Baron's being completely cleared, and now Remembrance just had to go off intuition to make sure that, you know, it's not being taken right now. You see Jesus Chris, good old Jelton, and Havoc heading up that way. They're clearing wards, but it looks like Heritage High School wants to set up a death bush, trying to find a kill. And now Mariello will go through. He does use the safeguard to get to a ward. Will he find anyone? He won't find anyone to kick in just yet, but Braum does pop the Glacier Fissures. They do find him on the back end, and Light will find a kill onto Decanu. But the rest of the team is being slaughtered on the backside by Jazz as AXM tries to go in by himself, but he will just be killed by Mariello and the Lee Sin, and Jazz will flash in to find one kill. Is on a killing spree. Can they find Light? They will. Light did find a shutdown on the Jazz, but it didn't matter because he went down. It's a full ace. They can't finish the game because their wave is so far behind, but they can get this inhibitor.
Yeah, they're able to win that fight, and that's the thing. It looks like it could go either way. Jazz they managed to get a nearly clean ace after Janko died, but Jazz went down after getting shot right in the face by Jhin. But either way, that is a 5-for-3 ace win for Heritage High School, and they're gonna go take this Baron. There's nothing contested. Rek'Sai saw his 14 seconds go.
And I mean, you can tell Muriel's in there probably in his team chat on Discord going, can you feel it now, Mr. Krabs? Because he is feeling himself. The brazen confidence to go into that fight with only 2 or 3 members backing him up initially and still get out, find a kill, and then find a way to give his team the Baron. I mean, he's putting on a Game 3 MVP performance right here, 8-0-5, just trying to carry his team to victory beyond any mistakes they might be making here in this game.
Yeah, that's the thing. a lot of people coming to this game, including us, we've talked about Jazz, we talked about DJ Holiday, we talked about how they're the two big carries being scouted by NCSU. But Marillo has pulled on an excellent performance and has managed to really put his team on his back in this specific game, 8-0-5 on Elite Sin, going on something that's really comfortable for him to lead his team to potentially take the lead in this series if things continue to go this way.
I mean, this is the game to do it too. I said before this was a clincher, and what I meant is, you know, it can be extremely hard for teams mental when you're down 2-1, losing in this sort of fashion. It can be extremely hard to come back from that, but Jazz is caught out in the bottom lane in River. He will be able to knock Shin and axe him away, but Light finds him on the back end of the fight anyways with a curtain call, and this will force the rest of Heritage to back away from the Elder Drake. It's already been leashed for Havoc. Now the rest of Remembrance will start this up. Jesus Christ is trying to zone them away with Axum. Light does throw out another W, trying to find maybe another pick, but it won't come through either way. They get the Elder Drake. This could be Remembrance's way back into this game. They're only down now by about 7,000 gold.
Yeah, Jazz was dancing around trying to peel off Remembrance, but he just didn't see the Jin shots coming his way, and he just got bang, bang, bang shot. And that's the thing. Even though I do criticize Jin being a pick in this meta because, and being picked early because of the tank line that Heritage School has. But if he avoids that tank line, is able to hit the carries directly with just one shot, he can just follow up over and over. And as we saw, he was able to kill Jazz and pretty much secure his team the Elder Drake.
Exactly, and now these are the fights that, you know, Remembrance have to find their way back into this game, and now Light is getting bigger. Oh, but Mariello finds him on the back end. He does kick him in, but the Sandy will come through to save his life, and now Mariello's caught between a rock and a Shin place as he might go down. All the shields and heals are coming through, but it won't matter. It's a shutdown kill for Havoc, and now they're going to continue the chase. Havoc trying to find something, but he's extremely low, and now good old Jellison's taking the damage for him. Good old Jellison will go down to DJ Holiday. The Nethergrass comes through, but it was only to stall for time. It was on the support as the Caitlyn ultimate comes through. Semifinals, he was able to thread the needle, but this time he can't. Jazz goes in, he wants to find something, but he won't follow the Weaver's wall. And now they're gonna peel away. Oh, Jesus Christ, he was on the wrong side of everything. And he will go down to DJ Holiday. The Rampage coming through, and now the rest of Heritage High School will push the base, and it is 3v4 right now in their favor.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was an excellent play by Marillo, able to catch out Light, but it was good response by Remembrance, able to lock down Marillo and kill him. But they bit off a bit more than they can chew. They saw 5v4, they tried to push on, but Jazz came in, Holiday came in, the tank line came in, and they were able to sort of clean up and get 2 kills off the back of that, as pretty much Jin just shoots into the tank line.
Yeah, he was trying to possibly slow them down for Axum and for Havoc to follow up on, but Decano jumps in front of that 4th shot, takes the brunt of it with his Unbreakable Will, and his team is able to back away. They still have Baron buff, but only for a short amount of time left. Even still, they still have a 7.2k gold lead. They're up by, what is that? My math is failing me. 8 kills. Yes, there we go. 8 kills. So they still have, you know, clear lead as far as gold. However, Remembrance is always seem to be one step ahead of them in tempo.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is the 3rd game in a row where it's starting to get into this really late game phase. And once you get into this phase, it becomes, all fights become precarious because everyone's starting to hit their full builds. Everyone's about even footing, and it's all about execution. And if you don't execute right, you could go from having a good lead and a good shot at winning the game to throwing the game completely, and instead of going up 2-1, you're down 1-2.
And that's what we saw earlier. Mariello got greedy. His execution on that Dragon Rage was, you know, good, but the execution on the play overall with his team following up was subpar. However, Remembrance just made a bigger mistake trying to follow and overstay. And now it will look like a 4-1 push coming in for the side of Heritage High School as San is just pushing his way in this mid lane, having his way with Axum for a brief moment. The Deadly Flourish does hit one member of Heritage High School, but it won't, you know, be enough to net a kill or a follow-up engage as Remembrance is just on full wave clear duty right now.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to just stall out for a bit. I mean, Baron is already gone from all of, Baron's already gone for all Heritage High School, so they're just standing around trying to stall out for the next objective or whenever as many people try to finish their items. I mean, for the look of it, Rek'Sai still needs to finish her items. Let's see. Axum is full build. And Malzahar also needs one more item. Shen is probably be as full build as he will be because that last slot is used reserved to be filled with control wards. Jhin is currently full build, so people are just trying to stall out, wait for the full build to give, and so one last flash, most likely around a Baron.
Oh my goodness! The unstoppable charge comes through and it lands and hits Jhin in the face! And they find him, and now it is a 4v5, and they're gonna push this mid lane turret. The Weaver's Wall trapping him so he had nowhere to go. He takes the train to the mask. It doesn't matter. They get the inhibitor, and now they can fall back, push a wave. Baron's not spawning for another minute or so, but this is a big tempo shift, and they just hit the gas pedal right now. 0 to 100 real quick. Heritage High School trying to just completely finish this snowball so they can take this game.
Yeah, but the Baron still has about a minute to go, and Light will be up for it. So, while they did get the kill, it's always quite nice. They're not really in their waves aren't in the position to where they can capitalize and push it down. But that's not going to stop them from trying.
Exactly, there are 5 versus 4. Jhin is not up for another 14 seconds. Jesus Chris was possibly looking for a pick, but he didn't have vision. As soon as he saw the rest of them come around the corner, it didn't matter. And now Stan's ulting it again. Another zoning ult, question mark? It won't really matter as they're going to keep trying to charge away at this turret. Axum trying to go in himself, but he was getting blown up. Good old Jelson did find a full 4-man comp, but it doesn't matter if all your damage is gone. He'll have to run away. He's low health. Jesus Chris, the only one doing any damage. He will force the rest of Heritage High School to run away, however, with low health bars. As he finally did come back up, but Baron's now spawning in 4 seconds, and Axum and Shin are just now getting out of their own base gates. But it looks like the rest of Remembrance are trying to follow up. Jhin and Rek'Sai are there, trying to make sure that Baron isn't taken. The Deadly Force will be tanked by Decano. Will they fully engage? They will not. Instead, they'll clear vision. But if Heritage High School takes a back here, then they might lose Baron.
Yeah, but Burberry does have TP, so he can't immediately come back. But as for everyone else, they're going to have to stay around, or they will lose this Baron because of poor back timing. But here comes Sion, he's coming back.
The telegraph does land onto Mariello. The Baron is taken by Remembrance, but they will lose Shin for it. Will they lose more? Jesus Chris goes down as well. This is the fight that Heritage High School wanted again and again and again. Rek'Sai is trying to find a kill, but he won't find it. The shutdown kill comes through for Light. Oh, he finds a second one onto Mariello in the back. Oh my goodness! So all in all, it's still they have 2 members up for both sides. A 3-for-3 trade, counting the 1 member that came back up for the side of Heritage High School. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Baron goes over to Remembrance. The lead still, though, hasn't shrunk.
Yeah, it's just an even trade, but Remembrance do get the Baron on 2 members, onto Axum, as well as Light. So they do have that going for them, as they need to make sure those 2 members stay alive, or else their entire Baron would be gone. So, right now, it was an even trade in kills, with the Baron going in favor for Remembrance. So, they're going to have to wait until... Everyone's just going to have to sit back and wait until all their members come back, and they're just going to have to fight over another objective, which, I mean, it's going to be a little while before another Elder Strike spawns. So... until that happens, it's just going to be people dancing around trying to get some ward coverage and try to find picks on each other. That's probably what's going to be the case until another objective comes up, which will most likely be Elder Drake.
Once again, Nessie, hasn't that just been the story of this series? It's just been, you know, we're going to play a slow game, and then we'll either throw or we'll win at Baron or Elder or whatever objective will give us a chance. I mean, this isn't EU. This isn't supposed to be happening here. If anything, it's supposed to be a lot of skirmishes, but not around Baron. Like, ugh. Anyways, like you said, both teams reset. It seems that Heritage High School will send the main force of their squad to the mid lane to push us forward. Talia did push in the bottom lane, trying to set up a possible push in the top lane as well. She actually had to recall to take care of top lane, speaking of which. So the push from Heritage High School is still stalled out, as they're not the team with Baron, it's Remembrance.
Yeah. They do have, Jess does have to take care of that wave. He has Weaver's Wall, but it does not extend all the way across the map, so he's gonna have to clear that wave and sort of run down, but here comes Light.
Light has popped the curtain call, but it won't find anybody. Once again, he pops it too early and his team can't follow through, so that's one crucial ult down for the side of Remembrance. And now Heritage High School feel comfortable enough to push lanes. They're a little bit confused. Ping's going down everywhere, but it seems the team will settle on pushing the bottom lane while Caitlyn goes toward the mid lane to try and look for anything right now. As Remembrance right now going to the top lane to address this Talia. They send Axum and they send good old Gelatin there to take care of Jazz.
Yeah, this game is on a razor's edge. One mistake, you lose the game. Speaking of mistakes,
Jazz caught out, and he gets killed by Axum in the top lane. This should give Remembrance the freedom to address the 4 in the bot side. Once again, Heritage High School lose a member getting picked off, and it stalls their push, and that gives Remembrance even more time to try and scale up, as there are no neutral objectives on the map. As we said before, the closest one will be the next Dragon, which is spawning in about 20 seconds. Elder Drake is spawning about 20 seconds. So, once again, Heritage High School making mistakes that stall out their own push.
yeah, I mean, Jazz gets caught out, and without Jazz, they don't have as much power as they usually do. One of their carries is down. They just have DJ Holiday and a bunch of tanks at this point in the game. So they're not in a good position to contest this objective. I mean, it's already up. They're 28 seconds still on Jazz, and they can't contest it. They're just going to give it up.
Yes, they give up the Elder Drake, so now that's a triple Elder Drake Remembrance team, and so now, despite what the gold lead and kill lead says, ladies and gentlemen, it's Heritage High School's on the back foot. They cannot take fights against a triple Elder Drake team unless Remembrance play something terribly, terribly wrong in their next coming push.
Yeah, this game, 50 minutes right now. This is the longest game of the series, and I remember going to this preseason patch, we were like, oh, these games are too short, they're too snowbally. Well, screw you. This is a 50-minute game happening right now. So, this actually shows it's mostly due to mistakes from both teams not able to capitalize on their advantages and basically allowing the other team to keep in this game. So right now, the advantage on Remembrance. They have the Elder Drake. They have the ability to win in team fights because of that extra damage and the triple Drake burn. So if it gets to that point, it could be, if they get into a team fight, it could be very bad for them. For Heritage High School.
Exactly, as Remembrance acknowledging this and knowing this fact, they're going to push as 5 right now. And there's not much, like we said, Heritage High School can do about it. DJ Ollie will set up the 90 caliber net traps to try and force, not force, but make sure Remembrance can't push any harder while Jazz takes care of Wave in the side lane. And it's just a stalemate right now, as I feel like even with Elder Drake, it looks like Remembrance are just a little bit hesitant to try and take a heavy team fight, and at the same time, Heritage High School know they can't do anything about it. So both teams will just continue to farm up on each other and push mid in basically what's an ARAM.
Yeah, I mean that's what Heritage. Now that's what Remembrance want to do. They want to fight. They want to get a 5v5 fight while they have the Elder Drake. What Heritage needs to do is just stall it out. They don't want to fight them right now. They just have to wait, poke, and just not engage them in a 5v5 fight because they'll lose. If they are going to fight, they need to pick off one member and kill him before the rest of his team can help him out.
Exactly, and so, I mean, the push will continue. Let's see if they follow your advice, as Light actually does pop the curtain call, trying to find some damage on the back line, but Ruby will just soak that up. Ruby and Decano just soaking it up, making sure nothing happens. Ruby does get hit by the silence from the Malzahar, but nothing really doing that. I feel that's the best effort Remembrance is going to get for a fight, because they lose Light's ultimate right there. They'll continue to push mid lane, however, and the ARAM just continues, but they will force Ruby to back.
Yeah, tick, tick, tick. That Elder Drake has run out, so now it is a Baron buff is up in about 30 seconds. And it looks like, remember, it's with that tempo they gained from the Elder Drake that they have better positioning on the push. They are going to go towards the top lane, and this will be where tempers will explode.
It should be, as now, I mean, they were first on the rotation. Jazz is slow on the play. He might be looking for a Weaver's Wall play, but the turret will go down before that can even happen, as that double Mountain Drake is just doing work right now for the side of Remembrance, and they do find it. But the Unstoppable Charge come through, as well as the Weaver's Wall. They do find the rest of the backline, and Axum gets exploded by Jazz. Jesus Christ, on the other end, however, is trying to kill Mariello. He will find the kill, but good old Jelton might pay for his transgression. It looks like he will, as he's still trying to find a way out. He will dash away. Light pops the ultimate, but Decano will just block it all with his face and his wall, as the Unbreakable Will does make sure that no one dies on the side of Heritage High School, but Jazz is on the back end. He's trying to look for the flank. Will he find it? The straight volley is seen by the side of Remembrance, and it will find people as Shin does go through. He does sacrifice his life. The seismic shove doing so much damage. Jazz gets the kill. Good old Gelatin goes down, and while they can't continue their push just yet, things reset. And again, Heritage High School win a fight, even though Remembrance spent so much time with an Elder Drake.
Yeah, but for good thing for Remembrance, they did manage to get a tower during that entire scrap. The minions took a tower in the bottom lane, so inhibitor is exposed for Heritage High School. That's their first exposed inhibitor of the game. And right now, the Baron is going to be contested, or at least warded out, as a teleport is burned from Jesus Christ.
I don't know what they're thinking. They did start it. They actually do get the ult out of Brew because they do not have vision, so he had to check it himself. But now with Jesus Christ and Havoc having the low and having to wait for regen, this gives Heritage High School the room to start the Baron. They do get a TP out of Axum. He is following through, and the curtain call comes through as well. They're trying to make sure that Heritage High School does not complete this Baron. Decano does tank the rest of the curtain call. Ruby is killing these Voidlings as fast as he can, and both teams will just back away from this Baron. And Nezzy, I feel like the final fight of the game is going to be around this Baron right here, right now, as both teams are posturing around it.
Yes, if one team manages to get the ace around this Baron, that'll be the game, and whoever wins that ace will be the winner. Hopefully. This game is approaching about 55 minutes right now, and looks like they are going to try and push out the mid wave right now. The thing is, the bottom wave is in favor of Remembrance, so the Heritage High School will have to keep that in the back of their mind, as looks like their mid lane, the lane in the bottom lane is stalling out for them, so that's good news for them.
And Jazz does wall away the rest of Remembrance, but he doesn't wall away Havoc. However, Havoc does get knocked up anyways, and he can't take the Baron away, and now he's trapped. Jazz, Mariello does go in with the safeguard. They will find the kill on him. There's no way he's getting out of this one. Jazz on a killing spree. Now it's a Baron and a kill over to Heritage High School, and now they can try and start a game-winning push. Hopefully, man. This game is about to hit 60 minutes.
Yeah, Havoc is down for 70 seconds. They have Baron. They have 5v4. And they have an exposed inhibitor. They just need to run it down mid at this point. They have the Baron, they have the man advantage, and so you gotta run it down. Here comes Sion.
And Sion, he unstoppable charge. He does find Good Gelatin. It is the tank, however, he won't go down easily, but it should be enough just to try and force their way into the base, just try and break their way in. They will take an inhibitor. The question is, will they look for more? Ruby is taking a lot of damage on the back, and he could actually go down here. He won't go down just yet. They will back away with an inhibitor, so that's not the fatal push. Heritage High School, they do get the inhibitor, and they just back away.
Yeah, they managed to have enough wave clear between the Jace and the Malzahar, as well as the Jinn grenades, to try and keep this game alive for themselves. And this game, 56 minutes right now. Right? They still have Baron, so they can go for another push. And the thing is, Havoc does come up in about 10 seconds, so they'll need to make it quick, and they probably would not want to go for, well, if they want to play it slow, I mean, this game's already 56 minutes, they could go for the side lanes, they put more pressure and put more minions into the base of Remembrance, or they can try to go the run down mid method and just try to team fight them at near their inhibitor for the win.
But that's a dangerous strategy, because at this stage in the game, it's all about execution now. It's no longer about gold or leads. Everyone has all their items about execution and who can do this thing the best. And right now, neither team has really shown that in this game alone, much less, you know, in the entire series, as Heritage High School is once again pushing the top lane as 4, while Decano clears some wards in the jungle of Remembrance, while Jazz will push the middle lane by himself, and they're going to look for this top lane inhibitor turret, as the Weaver's Wall does come through to section off the rest of the team. The curtain call trying to once again stall, but it won't be able to stall in time. That's the inhibitor turret down. Mariello does get hit by the deadly flares. Good old Delta Wanda going for the taunt, but he is knocked away by the seismic shove, and now Ruby goes over, he pops the Gargoyle stone plate, and now he won't go down just yet. I'm behind once again. I can't see any action going down just yet, but it looks like no one actually even ended up dying from that push, as 5v5 still, but at least they got an inhibitor turret, and they'll try and do it all over again. Oh my goodness. The reset.
Yep, and that's the thing. They just backed up the redemption, and now they're right back at it again. So it's just going to be a bit of a stalemate until somebody makes a move.
But who will make the first move, and will it be a successful move is the question. Neither teams even want to test that philosophy. Ruby will clear what he's trying to run away. He gets hit by the deadly force, and the current call comes through, but he does pop the unstoppable charge to get away. He will vroom his way away from the jungle of remembrance, and so still no one will go down. A full reset will come through, but an inhibitor turret is taken by the side of Heritage High School at the end of all this ruckus.
Yeah, as the teams are going back, Heritage is going to go back and I guess gets filled up under elixirs because everyone has full build. So, the thing is, even after whoever wins this game, they still have to play at least one more. So, fatigue is just going to come at this, and I mean, we're seeing the all chat, and there's already frustration from both teams.
Yeah, frustration indeed, as we see people in chat yelling, spamming, I don't even care if we win, just let me sleep, as we have to remember that these high school kids, they are still in school. They still probably have finals tomorrow, but, you know, they won't be able to study for them, and they might be too tired, but League is life. They chose this. They knew what they were getting into, as the high schoolers will indeed set up for this Elder Drake, and because of the recalls from the side of Remembrance, I don't think they'll be able to contest this before it goes down. They might be able to find a fight on the back end of it, though.
It depends how fast they're able to take it. I mean, the Weaver's Ball is most likely already being prepared by Jazz. He's in position to do it.
Yeah, he's in position. The question is, will he wait to see them to pop it? No, he goes as and pops it anyways. It should be an Elder Drake. The Weaver's Ball will be able to at least stall for who knows how long, but Havoc can still tunnel up under and try and steal it. The curtain call comes through. Can a steal come through? He steals it away!
Oh my
He took
God!
the Elder Drake! And that's a that's a triple Drake Elder now for the side of Remembrance. Can they use it? Havoc, you are a god!
Demon's comeback haunting for Heritage High School. Remember, last week, Beeline on Rek'Sai stole two monsters in that game, a dragon and a baron, if I recall correctly, or maybe it was just two dragons. But that comes at them again. They lose the Smite fight. Havoc, the hero they need, making himself famous, able to keep this game going on. Teams have 110,000 gold each. What the hell's going on?
I couldn't answer that for you even if I tried, man. I mean, once again, execution. And what happened there was Heritage High School didn't execute well enough for the vision. They still allowed Havoc to get through. They didn't account for him tunneling under and stealing the Baron, or maybe Mariella was too cocky. Either way, now the Light and the rest of Remembrance can push through. Oh, but Light gets chunked down by Jazz there in the mid lane. So once again, a push it over. Now they're on the run. Jazz might be looking for the chase. Heritage High School decides not to chase them all the way through. It's enough just to get them to back away from the turret. And once again, Remembrance goes for this ARAM style push and find nothing for it.
Well, you know what that means? A little bit longer stalling till the next, till either the next objective comes up or they do another fight around a tower. So,
Hey. Go ahead.
Yeah, or they could potentially fight around here, right in the middle of Summoner's Rift, is another option they can take. But looks like they might be running out of time and running out of patience because both these teams want to finish this fast.
Exactly. Decano getting stunned up there, but he didn't. None of that damage really hit him, as now the chase doesn't much of anything now that we've hit the later stages where armor is now a thing. Deadly Force misses again, and Baron is about to spawn in 7 seconds, and Remembrance does have the priority. They also have the double mountain in Elder Drake, so they will take this extremely fast. Heritage High School had to do something about this, but Jazz just recalled in base. He won't be here for this Baron. Not yet, anyways. He does have the Weaver's Ball. Oh, the Nethergrass is popped onto Ruby. Can he get away? The Gargoyles don't play and their redemption save his life, but Decano is low. The curtain call is popped, trying to find someone to kill. It won't kill him. Mariella will just tank it up, but that opens things up for Remembrance to try and take this Baron. It's already at half health. It's getting burnt so low. They take it by themselves, but good old Jelton is in the top lane trying to stall. He could go down for this, or Mariella could die right here. Holiday is trying to secure the kill. Jazz following through. He does find a seismic shove. Good old Jelton should go down to this. He will go down. Ruby was there to follow up on the back end of it, but even though the Shin goes down, the Baron still goes to the side of Remembrance. Please win this game off this push with an Elder and a Baron.
Yeah, but the thing is that Elder, the time is starting to run out on it. Let me take a quick look. I think the Elder's already gone. So they're just going to have only the Baron to push this waves, and even so, that hasn't been enough in the past, like, 10 minutes or so. Let's see how it goes in the next 10 minutes.
Exactly, as they're the ones on the back foot now. You have 4 members of Heritage High School pushing the mid lane, trying to take this inhibitor. Still more ARAM style play here, ladies and gentlemen. And, I mean, let's see it. Actually see the unstoppable charge come in. He wants to find somebody. He can't find anybody, though. The Nethergrass comes in and gets him as well. Does he have Gargoyle Stoneplate? It does come through. The curtain call is popped, but Mario on the back end acts him, kills him though. It's going extremely low. It doesn't matter. They found the kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, however. Decano is extremely low. That Leandri's ticking away. Jesus Christ wants to fall through. They have minions pushing the inhibitor in the bottom lane, and so the rest of Remembrance will push as 3 in the mid lane while Havoc will try and fall through. This is the push they want. They can see it in their eyes, and the blood is there for them to take.
Yeah, on the map, they have a 5v4, 64 minutes in the game. Baron is available. They're just going to use the use a Void Link to just push these waves now, as they are just going to take turret after turret. The thing is, Heritage High School, if they want to win this game, they have to solve for another 30-some-odd seconds.
Exactly, and right now Jazz is there. They do have the ability to stall with the Caitlyn traps there, and I mean DJ Holiday and Jazz have the advantage of being able to wave clear from such a distance that is extremely hard for the rest of Remembrance to engage unless they get a deadly flourish or Havoc sacrifices himself potentially to try and get to the back line. As Axum looking to put down damage, they want to create that space for this turret. The Nethergrass comes in on the Ruby. He's caught out again. Decano is going to try and save his life, but he is slain for his top laner. Ruby will get out, but that will mean an inhibitor turret, and an inhibitor will soon follow for the side of Remembrance, and they could look to push the game 4v5. No, they'll just look for a second inhibitor. Weaver's Wall comes in. It doesn't block them away from the inhibitors though. Jazz is blocking them away from the next church, making sure they can't end the game just yet. But I believe that Remembrance will be satisfied with triple inhibs for their effort. We'll see if Heritage High School decides to fight back. Havoc taking some damage. The Locket of Iron Solari is popped by good old Gelatin. The third inhibitor goes down. Another Nethergrass goes through. That's how long we've been at this, people. Good old Gelatin trying to find something. They do find a kill on the Ruby. He won't be able to find anything in return. And now is another 4v5 situation for Remembrance. Can they finish? They still have Baron. It is still wailing on these next turrets. One goes down. Here goes the second one. Can they finish the game? The curtain call comes through. It is the end, people. Thank God. Game 3 is over. Remembrance take the series lead.
Oh boy, that was a game. That was a very long game. 66.
Are you not entertained, Nezzy?
Yeah, it was entertaining in a way. A bit tiring, but it was entertaining.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that game went so long, ladies and gentlemen. We won't even have an analyst desk. Nezzy, all I can say is Heritage High School had to find a way to close these games out when it gets this late. I mean, they should have won that game earlier. How did they come back in game 3? They had to be wrecked mentally. It's late. They're tired. They have to go to school tomorrow. They just lost a game where they let Remembrance come back. It's going to be really, really hard for them to come back for game 4 and take it to a game 5.
Yeah, they need to not only win 1, but 2 games and drive this to a game 5 comeback. That's what they'll need to do in order to win this series. But the problem is, as you mentioned, they're high school. 4 of the 5 members are in high school. They have school tomorrow, and they're going to have to try and fight through that and try and fight through the tiredness, fight through the worry about waking up for school tomorrow, and try to secure these next 2 wins if they want the title.
Indeed. We'll see if they can complete the underdog status and come back for victory in a game 5. Well, from us, ladies and gentlemen, we have no analyst desk this time, so we're just going to go to a short break. We'll be right back with game 4. Don't go anywhere.
wake up every morning, I wish the day would end. Because a day without you in my life, I don't know